Hello everyone, it's BenRock39. I'm getting ready to start the first part of a 3-part series to end my little career as a content creator for Payday 2. There's not much more I can share. I do have a few builds that I'll give out at the end of these videos, so that's kind of like saying thanks and so long. I mean, I'm still playing the game, I'll still be in these lobbies. I'm just not going to shoot any more videos because I don't think I can share any more content than I already have. The concealment thing is why I took that approach, because not everyone was telling you the things that I didn't see this information. I actually found out and I just figured no one else is sharing this. So I took it upon myself to make that my focus. I really didn't care for loud builds or high detection or high damage 1 down builds or death sentence builds. That's why I don't really make a 1 down or a death sentence build. It's because the game is stuck in what one would call a meta, or it's just the way you have to play in order to succeed. Rocket launcher, for example, with a sniper rifle. A lot of the players that are playing in 1 down death sentence matches are using that basic build, or you're using a butt ton of dodge or a butt ton of armor. You're not really playing the game, because technically it's hard to use every perk deck on every difficulty. From my experience, I'm an average player. I don't think myself any better than anyone else, and I did grind. I did put in a lot of time to get the 25-100. I didn't use any cook-off cheating or anything like that, and it made me develop as a player in this Payday community. And I was always under the assumption that you couldn't do certain things because that's just how it was. Well, I was definitely trying to prove that wrong, or finding out for myself what worked and what didn't. I took grinder builds in the 1 downs, and they worked. Doesn't mean I want to always play in 1 down. It just means that it could be done. If I could do it, I'm sure there's way more skillful players out there that can do it way easier, way better than I can. But for me, that was about the limit. I don't like playing in death sentence because it's more aggravating than enjoyable. For me, I don't like going down. No one does. At least I don't. And death sentence, it happens quite a bit. You know, you can get yourself back up. That's fine. It is possible, and I've gotten a few done, but it's not how I enjoy playing. I really enjoyed playing in Death Wish, but they've gotten to the point in Death Wish where it seems that they didn't take into consideration the console players when they ported over that update with I guess the modern day enemy AI. We have minigun dozers just like they do on PC. We have medic dozers just like they do on PC. But we are at a bit of a disadvantage compared to the PC player, because they also have team AI to help them. We don't have that. And another thing I've noticed is when I'm playing alone on Death Wish missions, there's no problem whatsoever. I mean, I do go down. It's common. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I get them done with a little less stress than when I'm playing with other players. It seems that back before the last update, I could carry along a few players and help them, and we get it done. Now, if they're not sharp or their levels aren't up, it's kind of hard for me to help those lower level players, which kind of, I fail a little more now in my open lobbies with random players because I still won't set a level limit. And I do play on Death Wish. I'll occasionally open a mayhem lobby But that's not, I'm really usually opening Death Wish lobbies and hoping anyone comes in. If they come, then we get it done and we get paid. I don't kick anyone for any reason, aside from maybe you just hiding in the armor room, or in a room in a corner and you're not even shooting your gun. That's kind of rude. You shouldn't be in a lobby taking up the space, just camping a corner that nothing's happening in. So yeah, I'll definitely make room for someone else who's going to come in and fight. But if you're going down and you keep going down, don't quit. Stay in custody. I'll get you back if I can. And we're going to finish that payday with you in there. I'll even try to extend it to, even if I can escape, I'll try to hang around and end the assault wave if it's possible and get you back before we escape. Sometimes you can't, because once the escape is active, there's no ending the assault wave in certain missions. But for the most part, if I can end the assault wave, I'll do that and wait for you to get back in. There's no way I want to leave a bro or a sister in custody when I'm playing. But I'll let you go into custody if it's going to cost us the payday. That's the other catch. Before, I wouldn't do that. I'd go get you because I knew my builds were definitely capable of running up there, getting you, and coming back. Now it's a bit of a toss-up because they spawn so many more specials. So that's the reason why I had to change up my gameplay a little bit. The other thing is the distance relation is really way off when you're taking damage from those enemies at distance. Specials in Death Wish and above is pretty shameful what the programmers did. They didn't make it so it's like when we shoot them at a great distance, we don't do as much damage. Well, they should have done that to the enemies as well, but they didn't. So you could turn around thinking you're going to fight someone up close because you felt it hit you really hard, and you think, wow, they got to be close. And when you turn around, it's a lonely shield or a taser or a dozer or something way in the heck down the map that's blowing you away from a great distance, you know. So that kind of stinks. I'm not a fan of that, but it is what it is. I think that's why console players, and I'm taking a jab at you PC guys, we're going to be better players, harder players anyway, because we don't have this advantage that you have with your team AI and your bots. So we're still playing the same enemy AI, but we're as limited as what we can do to defend ourselves against them. So yeah, take that. But either way, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. Well, yeah, I did mean that. Honestly, try it on console PC players, and if I could hook a controller to a PC, I bet I'd do kind of all right with Payday 2. Not saying I'm an ace, but I'd do all right, I'm pretty sure. But I learned on console, so I should be sharper. I should be a better player, I think, in my opinion. But I wish Payday would just give, or Payday, Overkill, or whoever's doing this now, would just give us the last part of the update so I can quit crying about what's fair and what's not fair. I really just want my more missions and the complete experience. I don't even need Crime Spree. I don't need any of that crap. I don't even need the new safe house. Just give me all the missions and all the weapons that we should have. Maybe Team AI. If not, we're getting along without it. So even scrap that. You know, just give us the bare minimum with all the missions left to play. Give us what we would consider the complete edition of Payday 2 for console. And I might even have an excuse to shoot some more videos. But until then, that's not happening. Other than these next two that are coming after, I'm going to share this build and two others in two different videos. And then I'm going to wrap up this Payday 2 content videos that I'm shooting. Well, here's one. Here's the one. And it's a DLC build. If you don't have DLC, you might be able to find something else to replace the Piglet grenade launcher, but this is the primary in this build. So I'm using the Piglet grenade launcher, and it's for concealment. This is a critical build. Short barrel, concealment boost, compact laser module. I used I guess that's the Trigonom sight or the Trigonom sight. I don't know. Either way, say it how you want. Only because it matches well with the weapon. I usually go for the Seymour sight, but it looks better with this, and they don't change anything. It's still +4 in stability, -1 in concealment. And my detection risk is at 23, so there's no point in trying to make it any lower. Here I'm using the no stock option for the stock. High damage, 1300 is pretty good. You can soften the damage way down if you got the incendiary rounds to shoot them at 30 every time it hits, but it leaves the area engulfed in flames, which is kind of helpful, especially to a player that uses grinder perk deck. It really is helpful. Now, as far as the secondary goes, I'm using a compact 5 submachine gun, and I'm showing you the weapons first because it's kind of how I like doing things. I make builds around weapons more than I do so much around what I want to do, because everything I want to do is fairly similar. I'm a critical builder, a critical build user rather, and this is the premise that I take when I build my builds. I find the weapons that I think are going to work well, and then I build around them. But this is a compact 5 with a bigger, better suppressor. I'm using an accuracy boost instead of a concealment boost because I'm at 23. I don't need to increase any more accuracy in the build or any more concealment in the build. And accuracy is really good at 76. 72 would be fine, but 76 is good. For those of you that want to get the most out of this with a silencer on it, you could in essence take auto fire and get a little more damage and lose at the loss of some accuracy. But I find that with the 76 accuracy, it's still 100% stable, and it's awesome. I love this little thing. It really is a comparable substitute for a Valkyria rifle, in my opinion. So that's why I'm using it. The Valkyria rifle is a primary weapon, and I can't use it because the Piglet's taking that spot. This barrel foregrip, the compact laser module, this isn't necessary. The gun is stable as it is, and I don't want to change the concealment because it'll make my detection risk go up. I'll show you. It'll go to 26 if I do that. I don't need it for the stability. I'm already 100% stable. I'm using the Seymour sight on this compact 5 and the adjustable stock. See there, it's 76 accuracy, 100% stable. Concealable is good enough to stay at 23 detection risk. Now the buzzer is a bit of DLC, but electrical brass knuckles works as well. If you wanted to do damage instead of interrupt them, I'd go for the ice pick. That's DLC. If you want to go with a non-DLC weapon that does the same as the ice pick, I would recommend El Verdugo, but it'll take your detection risk up to 26, which is still very doable. You're only losing 3% on your critical hit damage that you're going to be getting when you're using low blow ace. Then I'll get to the skills to show you guys that. But I use the buzzer. I like to interrupt them. The throwable is also DLC. I'm using Molotov cocktails. If you want to burn them, incendiary grenades are a free option. They don't last as long, but they will work. Other explosives are fine. These are the free ones. Everything past the Molotovs are DLC. So choose accordingly. This build, I can use shape charges and trip mines as a grinder, but I make the build with other perk decks in mind, so I didn't bother using the shape charges and trip mines. But if I was using it as a grinder build, I would definitely put these points here, because I can rely on the regeneration of health through the perk deck and not necessarily need any uppers to give myself health back. These don't replace your downs, but they do keep you alive, and if you don't go down, you don't need to replace your downs. So that's the concept of using uppers. At least when I use other perk decks, that's how I do it. I'm going into controller. This is basic for me. Love taking a Joker with Partners in Crime aced. Gives me a health boost. It makes them tougher, and I got a speed boost as well. Oh, the armor and tank, it's resilience aced, die hard aced, transporter basic, bullseye basic, shock and awe basic, and Iron Man basic. It's what I do for my grinder builds. I use a lightweight ballistic vest, so I can get 130 points out of that armor value instead of 80 points. Technician, I said it before, I'll never make a build without jack of all trades, and I mean it. So that's in there. Nothing for the drill skills. If I was using another perk deck, definitely drill skills for the grinder. But this is the meat and potatoes of the secondary, which is more or less the primary in this build. The acing steady grip gives you that high accuracy and stability numbers that you need to get that compact 5 where it is at 76 in accuracy and 100 in stability. Lock and load ace, there's not an option for the compact 5 to have a speed pull magazine, so this is a way to increase, or rather I should say decrease, the time it takes to reload that weapon. The only catch, I have to get 2 enemy kills before trying to reload, and yeah, it just helps reload that much faster, so much faster than using the basic skills over here to get up and get aggressive reload. So that's just a better option for me. I am using the weapon in auto fire, so may as well take advantage of this. Surefire ace, armor piercing rounds, extra 15 rounds for the basic. It's just really good. And I'm using body expertise ace. This is really going to make that weak number of 45.1, I think it was, for damage. It's going to make it insignificant, because this thing is going to really do some damage regardless of what you're shooting at. Except for maybe dozers. You got to hit them in that opening in their faceplate. Other than that, you're going to mow down a lot of people with that compact 5. Here, an Artful Dodger, duck and cover basic, acing inner pockets. Silent Killer, I'm taking second win basic, optical illusions basic, acing the professional. I ace high value target, and I ace low blow. My detection risk is at 23, so I'm getting the full benefit of the low blow skills. As the ace version, I'm going to have a full 30% critical hit chance every time I'm shooting an enemy. It's basically saying a third of my shots are going to be critical. That's the way I like to look at it. Here, high value target, that's just boosting how much damage you're going to put on any specials and loud missions. It really helps, especially when you have teammates around that don't have these benefits and they're shooting with normal weapons or weaker weapons and haven't figured out their build yet. This actually helps them as well, because you're forcing the enemy to be weaker by 65% if you're further away than 10 meters. So that's really going to help other teammates who don't have some of the skills available or the weapons available to deal out the damage it takes to drop some of the specials. So it really is a team skill, in my opinion. But yeah, that's the basic build. Now you can do some things here. I'll show you something for some reload, and then I'm going to stop and I'll say my goodbyes for today. You want drill skills, you can do that even with a perk deck that isn't grinder. You can do this and get those drill skills back. You can give yourself a little more stability, but you don't need to. The gun is made to be stable. If you wanted a little more points to give to your health, you can get back those drill skills and trip mines and maybe come up here and ace this skill, give you some automatic health regen. It's just an idea, you know. I'm not going to explain. Now I'm going to put the build back the way I had it, so I hope everyone was paying attention. And yeah, that's the build. So as far as equipment, trip mines for me, I usually have the skills for them because I'm using grinder. Lightweight ballistic vest for the armor. Once again, with the skills, as I showed you initially, yeah, you can go through any perk deck and try them and see what works for you. For me, like I said, I'm stuck where I'm stuck, and it's not because I don't like the other perk decks, it's because it's convenient for me to stretch my build out with grinder. Makes me more effective, and I like the style of play I need to use in order to be effective with it. But as always, take care, be well, and good games, everyone.